right, so we're doing another episode of back tattoos. I've just had a few sessions on my back myself, so
Cool.
It puts things in perspective for me because we're seeing so many big back pieces, and it had actually been quite a few years since I had any work on my back. I think the last session I had on my back prior to this was like 2017.
Yeah.
So, but I did a lot of work on my back, and I'm preparing for in 2024 to probably have, 20, 30, maybe more sessions on my back again. So I'm kind of, I'm looking at all these back pieces with a little more intrigue than normal right now. So I'm getting ready for another big back journey.
A back project.
Yeah. It's going to be as big as anything else I'm working on. So.
All right, so this one is from Samuel. It says, "Hi Remy, wanted to send in some photos of my back tattoo. Let me know what you think. Tattoo was done by Rafael Delalande from Seven Doors Tattoo in London, UK. Always enjoy watching your videos on my lunch break. Keep up the good work. Regards." So let us see.
Well, I hope I don't give you any nausea during your lunch with some of my comments. This is firmly one of my favorite back pieces.
I think it's super
I've
cool.
seen this in the email, and I try not to look hard at things when I get them.
Because you want to come at it fresh for the...
But immediately I was in love with this.
It's super striking.
It's super striking immediately, but then as time goes on, I want a little more from it. Do we have the lower part? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I love the background. I love the foreground. I think that they're tonally different enough because the background is so open and the foreground is so kind of busy and congested, right? But in a good way, not in a bad way. It's just I want these guys bigger.
Yeah.
These heads come up on top of the back a little more. You don't even have to have them much bigger.
I agree.
And the positioning of this whole creature here in the center, you can see the hands. The hands are a little lost. You can see the hands in there.
Yeah.
If suddenly this whole creature just comes out just a little bit bigger, then this back piece is that much better.
I agree with that. But
even if you take the creature out of this and it was just the fiery background.
With the fire, with the black and it's the textures and the movement is so cool.
Yeah, I love this thing. It's got such a cool look to it. The layout of this, it's so intricate. Mm-hmm. It's so, even just looking at it, I get lost in the movement of all the flames.
Yeah, it moves your eye around the image really well.
But these demon guys here, I want a little bit more from them. And then I feel like if you do make them bigger, you almost have to put more detail in them because I like them being this busy.
Yeah, I like how busy they are too because it really sets them apart. I mean, the background is busy, but it's big busy, and then they're small busy.
It gives this kind of craggly, crispy texture. Mm. You would cut your finger on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're very sharp and just very coarse looking, and it looks grisly. Mm-hmm. And they're rotting. I really, really like the texture work. So if you were to scale it up, I think you have to keep all of that texture in there in direct proportion to how they have it now. This whole thing, I think, would be better in color, but I think it works really good in black and gray.
I could see some red being in here and working really well.
If you put some flame, fire, some fire tones, so orange, yellow, red. But I think it's more striking this way because of how they've played with negative space. They've done it in a way that makes things look very white. But that being said, this is in a high contrast filter and against a black wall where all the white gets to showcase.
It's true.
Look how white his skin is. So this would still look great in daylight for sure, but it gets a big buff from all the light play that they've done to it. And I don't really care because I know what it looks like in reality. But some tattoos benefit more from fuckery than others. And this is one of them.
Oh, yeah.
All of those crispy...
it really showcases what's going on.
Yeah, all the negatives, they look like they're white highlighted because of the contrast and all of that. But man, this is one of my favorite back pieces we've seen so far, and like it gets me excited to start working on mine.
I agree. I think this is my favorite back piece I've seen so far too.
It's maybe not my favorite, but it's one of my favorite. I really like that Cuphead Devil back piece too.
Yeah, that one was really cool as well. So the next email is work in progress back tattoo from Jason Kelly at Live3 Tattoo. So let's take a look. We got a lot of your artists here. Wow. Is this like it's like a demon,
Is the
like
demon
with
biting her foot?
Well, and then but he's got her like boobs in
She's
his
got
other
some
hand.
strange anatomy.
Well, she's contorted too.
Oh,
right?
for sure. Her ass is huge, and yeah, this looks like you know what this reminds me of? Reminds me of like late nights, like 90s television, like Spicy City or something, where like the female anatomy is so bizarrely like
really exaggerated,
like giant asses, waists like this, and like
Yeah.
long legs and curves like crazy. Like it looks like it's deliberately done in a very wacky, cartoonish way. Some of the imagery around this does remind me of like Japanese style, but
I think the demon especially reminds me of Japanese style,
but
the rest of it doesn't.
It's so like kind of stylized that I can't really place it in that realm.
Yeah.
Like we have a better cleaned up shot of it here. This is a better way to judge this. Like it's such a weird style that it's hard to even say whether I think this is great or not.
Right? It reminds me of like horror and like Japanese style and like a weird like combination.
I want to see it finished because I think way more color is coming into the top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, with just the black in the bottom, that really drags this down because like the red and like the flesh tones that they've done on the lady and the blue that builds it apart, that stuff looks pretty good. I don't like this stuff, whatever the hell this seaweed is coming off of her.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And like
I was just looking at that,
the
wondering.
parts that aren't colored in look very bad in comparison to the parts that are colored in. I also think that the demon's head probably should have been bigger or something. Like the perspective is a little strange on this.
Well, all of the perspectives are strange on this. Oh, he's got a pee-pee.
Yeah, no, I seen the pee-pee.
I just noticed that.
Yeah, no, I seen that.
I was like, whoa.
That's not really throwing me.
No, I didn't see it.
It's hard to tell where he is.
Well, that's why. Okay, so I just saw his leg because I was trying to figure out what was going on. And then I was like, what is happening here? And then I realized what it was.
The art reminds me of like very, very racy late night 90s TV.
Or like some sort of like old tapestry.
It's definitely got like the old MTV cartoon kind of like adult cartoon vibe to it.
Yeah,
where it's
Adult
like
Swim.
Very, not even adult, like the stuff that came just before it, where it was like it's kind of like pushing the envelope of what's acceptable, and like Spawn or the Max or the Head or it all came on around the same time.
All your favorites.
But yeah, Spicy City in particular, if anyone's seen it, comes to mind. I really like this thing a lot. It's so different that it's hard to say whether I think it's good or bad.
Yeah.
But I love it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's so unconventional.
It's definitely different.
But I want to see it finished.
I do too. I hope you send us a finished product. So the next one is another
something a little more conventional,
sort of a Japanese style koi and a samurai.
Yeah, there was a cover up in here at some level. I don't know what they're covering.
the koi's head, is covering
it's
something.
But like, so in this, like, before I talk about how much I like this tattoo, and because I do, there are some really, really high level tricks being done here. The shading looks like this is like almost like you can see through it, and the koi is behind it.
Yeah, it's underwater. That is like really a high level trick. I think
so,
that's even hard to do when you're drawing, like on paper.
That is really amazing stuff, and that's why I find it very strange that you can see some of the old tattoo underneath.
I know.
Like, that's odd to me that a guy who could do this wouldn't make better choices with the color. Like, I'm not saying this wasn't done well. Don't get me wrong. It's just that, like, you could have used a different yellow or a stronger yellow, or maybe brought more orange in. So you have that orange here in some of the scales or whatever of the koi.
To camouflage that old tattoo,
Yeah,
right?
in the eye and the swirl around the eye there, use a different darker tone or a tone that would interact with that black or whatever it is underneath of it in a different way. Just to see, I'm nitpicking because this is an otherwise amazing tattoo.
Everything else about this tattoo is absolutely stunning.
I just wouldn't expect to be able to see a cover up through this.
Right? It's just like they were like, you're just gonna see it, and they were like, there's tons of ways that you could have
You can
like
see
that
the
could
scar
be hidden.
tissue.
Yeah,
Right?
but it's just this like the speckling. Like even if they had put the speckling through some of the other yellow to make it look more intentional, it would have worked too.
I don't think it would have been too hard to mute that with other tones.
Or even like turning it into a green and having the green
well, a green
turn
would have done the trick.
Turn into the yellow and the orange.
They wanted the colors they wanted, but like the thing is it would have been an impressive tattoo no matter what colors they used. So they should have been more willing to try different colors, I think, to mute out the cover up. But I mean, overall, the imagery is really cool.
Yeah.
The background is very large but forgivable because of just how much it interacts with the foreground.
Yeah, and how cool it looks.
I do think that there's maybe too much blue in here, and I think I probably would have had more red in the balance, because though I like the blue, I think that it's a little bit overpowering in a way. Like just maybe even some blues for some purples in places.
Yeah,
just to
I
pull
would have
things
thrown
apart.
some purple in with the blue to like go with that yellow, and you're getting the good contrast.
Especially since they've used a little bit of purple in here already.
A little bit more.
They could have done a little bit of blue in here just to break things up. But like again, I'm nitpicking. I think this is
I think this is gorgeous.
Technically the best piece of the day here, and especially when you close up on things like Jesus Christ. These things are those where you can look at it from afar and it looks amazing, and then you look at it up close and it looks even better.
Well, this last shot is doing it no justice.
Well, no
But
matter
that's
who you are,
in the wild.
whatever you've got in this light where it's all glary, you're not going to be able to see anything. So I'm not even going to. I'm going to disregard that. But when you get a close up on the texture of this warrior here,
and his sleeves and his kimono, and his hair and how perfect it all is.
It's amazing when you can go big and bold, and they did. But they have intricate details within the big and bold.
Yeah.
Because usually those things bog you down, and they get lost when you get 2 feet away from it. Mm-hmm. Here they kind of do, but it just draws you in, right? And when you do come in, you're like next level mastery in little places that you definitely did not need to go into. And look at the toes too.
Yeah, I know the toes are great too.
Like that's fucking impressive.
Little shadow on the foot.
It would be so easy for that to turn into a misshapen hoof or something. But this was expertly handled. The fabric folds are amazing in here. Every one of these scales are shaded so well. Like it's such a fucking awesome tattoo.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't think we had any bad ones today of the 3, but this isn't my favorite one. I'm in between the first 2.
But this is just technically really well done.
This is technically better by a long shot than either of the other 2. And then it's just down to your preference of which you like. But I still find it very curious that we can see that cover up through here.
I know. That's the only thing that's like really, I mean, yeah, I'd put some purples in the blues to bounce off that yellow, make it a little bolder. But like, yeah, it's really killing me
I'm also
that they did that.
Kind of curious if it goes down below the waist because it appears to.
Yeah, it looks like it goes down onto his butt, and I'm kind of curious what's on there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon here. I'm sure the flow just keeps going, so I'm curious why we didn't see the full bum.
Well, he probably didn't want to show his bum off
on
YouTube.
Too bad. That's, part of the back piece. You see it in either of the other pieces.
I know.
I feel like when you do a back piece just to the waist, like it's a waste, no pun intended, of your real estate, and the ass is a natural complement to the back piece.
Oh yeah.
So if you're gonna do, most of your back, do it all. Yeah. Lay it out that way. It'll have a better looking flow. Because there's nothing weirder than when like oh, you like your your pant line shows and there's nothing there. It's like, what?
Yeah, or like you bend over and it just kind of like fades off into nothingness.
If
That's
you're gonna
so
do
awkward.
the back piece, do the back piece,
Yeah.
But all winners today. I like the first one, I think, most. I think the second one's got a ton of character, and then the third one is pretty much an absolute masterclass of tattooing. So, all pretty cool and definitely inspiring me to get to work on mine.
I'm excited to see what happens.